You won't believe what happened to this hiker. Yeah, maybe don't do that. Number one, you're just asking to get killed. Number two, it's just disrespectful.
Nostradamus is crazy. He has made some crazy predictions like 9/11. His prediction says, in the year of the new century and 9 months, which is 2001, right? And 9 months, September.
Yeah.
September 11th. From the sky will come a great king of terror. This is a plane. He doesn't, you got to think he's from 1600s, right? If he's visioning this in his head, he's not going to know what a plane is.
What is that?
Right.
You know?
The sky will burn at 45 degrees. If you look up right now, the longitude and latitude of New York City, it is 40.5 degrees north. In the city of York, there will be a great collapse. 2 twin brothers torn apart by chaos. I don't believe in psychics for the most part, right? But then I'm like,
let's talk about Siren Man. He's a 40-foot tall humanoid being.
He has no eyes and doesn't eat despite having organic teeth in his sirens.
He's rarely seen in areas with huge populations. Wow, these are big cucumbers. No wonder she left me. I don't know if I'm doing these right, but it looks kind of right. He hides stationary amongst all the trees and poles so he can blend in. The scary part is he can shapeshift. He uses his sirens to lure people out, and then when you are close enough, he strikes, dismembering your body and chewing you apart. This is an Asian cucumber salad. Final touches. Here we are. That was busting. If you made it this far into the video, answer this question in the comments. Would you rather be able to know when you're gonna die or how you're gonna die? And why? Now, even though people say Siren Head is an urban legend, some people claim they caught him on tape. Remember when I said Siren Head doesn't eat his victims? Well, he needs to start. He looked like he needs some protein. If he ate as much as he opened that big siren mouth, maybe he gained some meat on his bones. Here are 3 ways to survive Ironhead. Stay out of rural, woodsy areas, because he likes to hide in most of those places. If you ever hear strange sirens near you, run. And be aware of your surroundings. He can shapeshift, so you want to be able to know if there's an odd building or pole near you that you don't ever remember being there, because it's probably Siren Man. So run.
Breaking news, the woman claiming to be Madeline McCann has taken a DNA test. The private investigator representing Julia said, quote, Julia has taken a DNA test and we are investigating if it's possible to check her DNA with that of missing Livia. We are investigating all possibilities at this stage. Alyssa and Livia are a set of twins that disappeared from Switzerland January 30th, 2011. Twins were picked up by their father so they could spend a weekend together, however they were never returned. Twins' mother reported them missing and a massive manhunt ensued. However, on February 3rd, a witness said they spotted the twins' father in Naples, Italy. Later that night, his body was discovered and he had taken his own life. Now, Julia believes that she may be one of the missing twins, Livia. Here are some side-by-side photos. Here is a comparison of Julia with both of the twins. To this day, both of the twins are still considered missing. I'll keep you guys up.
Christmas Eve, 1945. A family's holiday celebration turns into a nightmare. The Sodder children disappearance is one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in American history. As the Sodders dig deeper into the mystery, they uncover secrets that threaten to unravel their very reality. Each new clue raises more questions than answers, and the family soon realizes that someone, or something, is watching their every move. What they discover will shake them to their core and leave them questioning everything they thought they knew. Don't miss what happens next.
On November 18th, 1993, a 9-year-old girl went missing from St. Anne, Missouri on her way home from school. This is the tragic tale of Angie Hausman, which left an entire community worrying about the safety of their children. Just 9 days later, her remains were found in the August Bush Wildlife Area in Missouri. A police sketch of the possible suspect was produced, but nothing led them to a suspect. An autopsy revealed that Angie most likely died just hours before her body was found due to hypothermia after a week of torture. The case was not solved until March 1st, 2019, when the killer was identified as Earl Cox.
They just caught a cannibal mass murderer in Houston, Texas.
This guy's a real cannibal. He got caught in Houston, Texas. And guess what? He ate 23 pizza delivery men, 6 Jehovah's Witnesses, and 2 postmen in the past 7 years. His name is Ivan Fedorovich Yanukovych, who is 56 years old. He was interrogated by police after his neighbors complained about him because he was using a chainsaw late at night. On the night when the police showed up, they reported that he was covered in blood and he was butchering a dead body in his garage and preparing for what they described to as large quantities of ground meat mixed with spices. Executive Assistant Chief Buchanan from the Houston Police Department says that officials seized over 700 pounds of unidentified meat from 4 freezers. And of course, it is presumed to be of human origin. One neighbor said, "I never suspected him of being a mass murderer. He was always very friendly and he would invite us to watch football games." I wonder what they ate. Anyways, careful whose house you go to, everyone. You never know. You could be going to the home of a person right out of a horror movie.
He never even made it to his 16th birthday. This is the horrifying murder of 15-year-old Seth Jackson. So Jackson began dating 15-year-old Amber Wright for about 3 months before they had a very bitter breakup over some allegations that Amber was cheating on him. Apparently it was a very toxic atmosphere between the two of them and their sort of friendship group, and they kind of both were just constantly trying to make each other jealous, and a lot of this happened on social media on Facebook. Not long after their breakup, Wright began dating 18-year-old Michael Bargo, who is the person that she supposedly cheated with. Wright made Bargo believe that she had been abused in the relationship with Jackson, so Bargo insisted on making confrontational visits to Jackson's house. In April of 2011, Bargo expressed to his friendship group that he needed to kill Jackson. He roped all these people in as co-conspirators, and of course one of them was Amber Wright, his girlfriend. Their plan was to use Wright to lure Jackson into one of their houses where they would wait for him, ambush, and then murder him. On the night in question, Wright led Jackson to the premise where he was met by the group, and he was kneecapped, beaten, and shot multiple times. His corpse was then burnt and his remains were thrown in a Florida quarry. Although they were juveniles at the time, prosecutors tried each of the participants in Jackson's murder as adults. In June of 2012, all but one of the defendants were sentenced to life in prison. Michael Bargo was sentenced to death for being the instigator in Jackson's murder, and he is actually Florida's youngest inmate on death row.
This case was solved after 46 years. On Monday, September 8th, 1975, a 35-year-old woman went missing from her Sturgeon Bay home in Wisconsin. This is the devastating story of Carol Jean Pierce, who was betrayed by the one who claimed to love her the most. Investigators suspected her husband, Richard Pierce, who was set to gain a lot from her death. They even searched his Michigan property for evidence related to Carol, but her remains were never found. After 4 decades of no development in the case, in August 2022, her husband was sentenced to life in prison for her murder, despite his continuous protest for innocence.